All illegal drugs are gateway drugs. Yeah, but I'm still convinced that weed shouldn't be illegal though. And I've been convinced of that opinion like pretty much my whole life. I'm actually like, I think I'm at odds with my parents on that take because I'm pretty sure my parents want it criminalized. But even back in the day, and I used to never disagree with them, but I'd disagree with them on that. I'd be like, you know what? It's obvious that alcohol was just so much worse. So if we're willing to have this in society, legalize weed. Like it doesn't make sense to criminalize that. Like people do not stress how much how insane alcohol is. I'm not against alcohol. I'm fine with people. I'm fine with people who are alcoholics as long as this, you can be an alcoholic as long as it's not like ruining your life. You know what I mean? But that being said, people should at least be aware of like how fucking crusty it is and how crusty it can make people, you know? Alcohol can literally ruin alcohol can like literally change you. Like you literally become like fucking Jekyll and Hyde from alcohol. Like that's, I don't know. You know what the problem is though? The problem is like nobody, like kids, like people that grow up have no fucking idea what alcohol or what weed is because there's literally no education on it. If kids are gonna get into like weed and alcohol at like an early age and it's just like inevitable, then we should have like shitloads of education on this so that kids know what they're getting into so they don't have to learn the hard way about how addictive shit is or how bad shit can like change your life, you know? Like nobody talks about that. Parents never talk about this. Teachers don't talk about this, right? So how do kids learn about alcohol? Through experience, through, well, getting into it, you know? We should at least give kids the option to know, because obviously, look, you're not gonna know shit about, look, you're only gonna know the extent of alcohol or weed if you try it, right? But we should at least give kids the opportunity to like have more of an understanding of it before they have to from, you know, experience. I grew up in a home where alcoholism was a problem and had my own run-in with alcoholism. Shit is no joke. Well, everybody's like told this, but nobody's like shown it. You know what I mean? The only time a kid is shown the negative effects of alcohol is if they grow up around it. That's the only way they can get experience other than trying it themselves. Teachers talk about alcohol. Teachers talk about school all the time. Dude, teachers do talk about drugs and alcohol all the time, but they're not talking about like what it is. They're not talking about, you know, it as a concept. They're just saying, hey kids, don't drink, don't smoke. Well, that's useless. Of course kids are gonna fucking drink and smoke, right? Instead, teachers should acknowledge you're probably going to get into this at some point when you shouldn't. That being said, let's acknowledge that this is a problem and that this exists, and let's learn about it so that kids have more of an idea of what's going on. Because let's be real here. Everyone who wants to underage drink is going to do it. Everybody who wants to smoke underage, they're going to do it. So let's actually like respond to it instead of hope and cope and live in this fantasy world and just hope that this doesn't happen. No, it fucking will happen. So let's fucking deal with it, dude. They do? What the fuck are you on? No, you guys aren't understanding what I'm saying. Yes, teachers talk about it being bad and teachers talk about not doing it all the time. Obviously, right? But they don't tell kids what it is. Like they tell kids like weed is a drug that you can smoke and alcohol is a drink that you can drink. They tell them that, but they don't properly like conceptualize like what these things are. They don't go in depth. They just talk about why it's bad. And talking about why it's bad is completely ineffective to a class of students that are probably going to get into it anyway. If you tell kids like something is bad, a kid's not going to go, oh shit, dude, you're right. I'm going to fucking just never do this because my teacher told me it's bad. No. They might think that, but eventually they're going to fucking dip into it, you know? Feels like a Vosh rant. I don't know. I just think that, like, there is merit to, like, better education. I'm not one of these, like, right-wing guys who's like, education is useless. Just fucking send kids to the fucking work camps or something, and that's how they'll learn. No, that's fucking retarded, too. I mean, education reform, if that's like a left-wing position, I mean, I agree with it then. It's obvious we need it. Kids don't give a fuck about anything. School is useless. School's just a fucking glorified daycare. It's just where kids go, so parents don't have to fucking deal with them. I disagree with that, but I honestly think that school should be at least 1/3 physical work. Probably. I would have hated doing physical work in school, but I think generally it's probably beneficial, right? I mean, PE was probably one of the only useful classes you had in middle school, right? It might have been the most AIDS class, but you actually like get something out of it, you know? All the women hate gym class. Well, women need it less because like women's gym class should just be like fucking, you know, like knitting class or something, right? Like women don't really need gym, so I could understand, right? Like, because if I was a woman, I'd be like, why the fuck do I have to do this? I'm a woman. Dude, all the people dude, all the people that were like, based, so true, Augie, are probably now just like, fuck you. I'm fucking joking, dude. I'm just memeing. Augie, you had me until this moment. Yeah, see, because all the people that were like base are probably like more left-wing, right? So now they just hear that, they're like, all right, dude, fuck you. This is your most right-wing rant yet? Oh my god. Oh, the tables turn now, motherfucker. Everyone's like, you're so cringe and blue-pilled. Yeah, not anymore, bitch. No, I'm just fucking around. I mean, let's be real, guys. Can we just be dead honest about something for a second here? And some of y'all aren't gonna like to hear this, but you know it's true. Women do have a raw deal in life, all right? Let's just acknowledge this. It's not even blue-pilled to say that. Because, I mean, men just are, you know, they just have it fucking easier, right? If you're a man, you'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. But, like, women do have, like, a rough deal. I mean, if I was a fucking woman, I would be way more discontent with life than I am as a man. As a man, I love life. As a man, life is awesome. Because to some extent, the SJWs are right about this. We do live in a man's world. Now, it's awesome, but let's just acknowledge it for what it is, right? Women do have some things easier. There are some things women have easier, right? Generally, women, dating is easier for them because usually they're the people getting approached to, you know? Guys have to do all the fucking work. So dating is probably generally easier. But that does come with consequences, right? Because if you're a woman, you have to worry about like potentially getting like raped or like attacked or something, right? Like as a man, there's not really usually many instances where men have to worry about like getting like fucking assaulted during a date or like a hookup or something, right? So even in like the things like women might have easier than men, it still comes with like negatives, like downsides, right? Like I'm not somebody who's against having these conversations, right? I think we need to have conversations about this. It's not as nuanced as people think. Like a lot of people just want to have it one way or the other, you know? Girls have swag, boys don't. That's not true at all. Men have way more swag than women. Most of the time when women have swag, it's just them copying male traits, you know? Like half the swag things that women do is like what? You know, like having an attitude, being more aggressive. These are men traits to have. So men invent swag and women copy it. Swag for a woman is just how much of a man they can act like. If you say swag, you're a pedo. Love or hate AugieRFC, but he's spitting facts. See, that's what I'm trying to talk about, right? It's time for us to start having these conversations, right? Because, okay, and here's the real red pill, right? This is my most red-pilled opinion. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for it? Some of y'all aren't gonna like it. But we need to acknowledge that we as human beings are different. There's differences between us, okay? And you might be like, well, Augie, obviously. No shit. Everybody knows that. But they don't. Everybody has this attitude that we're all the same. Or every man is created equal or something, right? Like morally, yeah, that's probably true, right? We should treat, morally, in society, we should treat every man as equal. But let's be honest, right? That's just not a fucking realistic way to look at the world, you know? I'm not saying we have to like be like fucking like racialists over here, you know? We have to fucking, that's not what I'm saying at all. Whether it's like, you know, because some people argue we're different through race. Other people argue we're more different through gender. You know, other people argue other fucking abstractions, right? Some people say it's cultural and stuff like that, right? Like a lot of people argue. But at the end of the day, while everybody is arguing about what it is that makes us different, we all, at the end of the day, agree that we're different, you know? Whether we're different from, you know, gender or race or fucking, or anything, right? We know that we're different. Everybody agrees that we're different. They just disagree on where the differences lie. But we need to like fucking, we need to focus on that, right? Because how are we gonna fucking exist as like we are more connected now than we've ever been in the history of the world because of the internet. And we weren't prepared to deal with this, right? Like, we weren't prepared to deal with the massive flow of information that we're dealing with right now. We as human beings can't handle. Think about it, right? Every day, I speak to tens of thousands of fucking people, right? This would have never happened if it weren't for the internet. But every day, I have a conversation with at least 10,000 people, because that's how many people watch the stream by the end of it, right? We weren't made for this much level of information production and processing. We weren't made for this, right? We can't react to this. So we're gonna be in a really fucked up place in society once the internet's like, what, 50, 60 years old, if we don't know how we can interact with each other as a human race. Because before, the only people that you would give a fuck about were the people that lived in your town, in your city. The only people you give a fuck about is fucking grandpa and Charlene down the street and your fucking dog. These are the only types of things you would give a fuck about, right? Like, just your local community. You would give a fuck about the people that you see at church every Sunday. You would give a fuck about the people that you work with. But other than that, your concerns are contained in this tiny little town, okay? But nowadays, your concerns are with hundreds of thousands of people all across the fucking globe. Nowadays, you're concerned about 10,000 million issues that you would have never fucking dealt with if it weren't for the internet. So how are you going to deal with that? How are you going to handle that? You have to acknowledge that we as human beings are different. And I don't know what it is, dude, because I see the arguments for why it's race or why it's gender. Personally, I'm more gender and cultures. I think that's really what defines us as people. I think it's mostly where you grew up from. And also, I do think there's a difference between the genders. You know, I think that's obvious. I think everybody acknowledges that. You could even argue that the existence of transgenderism or transgender ideology confirms that there is a difference between man and woman. Why? Because biological women who want to become men acknowledge the difference between the genders and they want to switch, right? So even like the fucking, you know, lefties or whatever, even they know there's a difference, right? They might not want to admit it, but there is a difference. So how are we going to fucking deal with that? If we're too busy acting like we're all the same, we're not getting anything done. We're not even understanding. We're not even willing to understand deeper, nuanced parts about the human race. We have to realize what human beings are and how they act and how they operate. It's just, it's simple. But then people want to make it racist and all this other shit. It's like, what? Just relax, all right? Can we at least just talk about this like human beings? You know? Okay, Mouthy Buddha. Yeah, see, exactly. This is your little puny little fucking chat brains that don't want to talk like human beings. Let's talk about it, you know? I think it's appearance, culture, what you like. I mean, like, here's the deal, right? These are the fucking conversations that I think about, right? That I don't want to talk about on YouTube. Because everybody spurgs out, you know? But, like, I'm reaching a level where it's like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I can't have a good convo with anyone on the internet, but IRL, I have great convos all the time. Dude, you know who's, like, the only person on the internet that will, like, entertain my thoughts like this? Is Aiden. That's why it's so fun to talk to him. This is why I always defend Aiden. And Aiden has a lot of fucking retarded takes. I'm not lying, all right? But Aiden's like the only person I can have conversations with, and he'll actually like bounce back ideas. He'll actually like engage with what I have to say, you know? And say what you will about Aiden, but he does have a lot of deep thoughts. He does have a lot of deep intellectual thoughts. Some of them might not be good, some of them might be retarded, but here's the thing, here's why I respect Aiden a lot more. Aiden is willing to think about things that somebody his age wouldn't think about. He might have bad ideas in some ways, right? And to be honest, Aiden has a lot of good ideas. He has a lot of bad ideas, right? But at least he came to these ideas, right? At least he thought about them. He might have come to the wrong conclusion, but at least he thought about them, you know? Most kids his age, and even a lot of people older than him, they don't think about shit. Nobody wants to like think about like who we are, right? They're like, oh, that's gay and cringe. Philosophy is cringe. Whatever, sure it is. But it's still important, right? And why wouldn't you want to learn it? It's like people that like, it's like people that would like sit there in history class, right? And they'd be like, I fucking hate history. History sucks. What do you mean you hate history? How could you hate history? What do you mean you don't want to learn? Like, math, I understand hating. Because who cares about math? You know, science, I can understand hating. Because it's complicated. And we don't want to talk about it, right? I get hating these things. But, like, how could you hate history? It's literally learning a story about who we are. It's learning about past civilizations that rose and failed. It's learning about people who had ideas and where they got to with those ideas, you know? Why would you not want to learn about that? And not all of history is interesting, right? There's a lot of boring, useless history. But like, generally speaking, history is not just something that's necessary, but it's something that's fascinating, you know? It's not something you have to like convince yourself to enjoy, you know? Like reading, for instance. Sometimes you really got to push yourself to read a book, right? But history isn't like that. Or it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be something you have to convince yourself is worth giving a fuck about. It should be something you naturally give a fuck about. But in the same way that we should naturally want to consume history, we should want to consume, you know, philosophy. And a lot of people get pretentious and really gay with it. They're like, oh, I'm somewhat of a philosophy bro myself. Don't listen to those people, right? They're losers. But just because they're losers doesn't mean you shouldn't at least think about it, right? And not deep philosophy. You don't have to fucking... just think about it on a surface level. Because you're doing more than like 95%, probably like 99% of population, just by thinking. When you see a problem in the news, you should like think about like why this happened. Like what the fuck is going on, you know? You shouldn't really be focused. You know, some people like over focus on like solutions and stuff like that as if they know anything about how to solve like a fucking, you know, historical conflict between a group of people. It's like, yeah, sure, buddy. Okay, yeah, sure. But don't focus much on like the solution. Focus on like how we got here, like what happened. You know, other people, like policymakers, can focus on the solution. All right, that's their job. All right, you should think about why did this happen? What's going on here? Not everyone is Asian like you, dude. You could learn a lot from the Asians. I would rather live in a society that is uneducated about history than math and science. Well, yeah, I guess if your country had like a bunch of like construction workers that didn't know anything about engineering, and they only knew about history, well then yeah, I guess the infrastructure in your country would be pretty fucked up, right? But there's only like a select few amount of people that really need to know like an extensive details of like math, right? For the most part, like math is something that, you know, you only really need to know how to like add, subtract, multiply, divide. That's really all you need to know from math, right? You can learn more about like geometry and like trigonometry and stuff like that, right? Like, you can learn about that, but you don't really need it, you know what I mean? But there are some jobs that do require knowledge in that, right? So for those like select few amount of jobs, yeah, obviously, you can make the case that math and science are more important to that person as an individual than history. It's like, okay, sure. But for the vast majority of the people, they need history more than they need math and science. Well, science is kind of important, actually. Maybe I shouldn't say science, you know, because science is kind of important. Even though people maybe overstate the importance of it, science is still important. You can't deny that, all right? We have to know how shit works, okay? And that's really all science is, just knowing how shit works. This is the most liberal arts degree argument I've ever heard. Dude, it's just facts. Why would anyone hate history? It's literally the best subject. Every other subject is boring and gay. It's so true, though. You're 100% correct. Can we have more convos like this? Well, here's the deal, right, guys? Why do you guys think I did so much streaming this week, all right? Why do you guys think that happened? Maybe I had a fucking revelation about something that I need to sit here and yeah, we need to fucking do more streams. We need to cover more drama. We need to have some more fun, right? Obviously. But there is a part of me that's like, we need to start talking about shit, you know? Because this channel, I want to pull in a bunch of kids through like YouTube drama, right? But then I want to like fucking help them, you know? Not like personally. I don't want to fucking get involved with you guys because that's fucking weird, right? But I want to like help y'all like as a group because there's problems in our fucking generation, right? There's a lot of fucking problems, okay? And we need to get to the bottom of this, all right? So if I can help in my small little bubble, you know, if I can fucking help a little bit, then I feel like I've at least done something, right? Because honestly, I feel pretty useless sometimes when I think about like, what is my contribution to society? Ben is like a fucking construction worker. Connor works at like a hospital. Connor's like saving people's fucking lives. Ben's literally building our fucking infrastructure. You know? They're doing something that is objectively beneficial to society. What am I doing? I'm fucking streaming to a bunch of retards every day. You know? Am I really like contributing that much in comparison to the people around me? Not really. And you could argue that I'm contributing like, you know, entertainment, right? I'm entertaining people's days. But what does that really mean, right? I'm making y'all laugh while y'all are busy benefiting society. If I didn't exist, y'all would still benefit society just as much. I'm not like causing you guys to become great people. I'm not doing anything like that, you know? I'm just sitting here and you guys just happen to listen to me because I'm some retard on the internet that y'all tuned into, you know? So I think about that, right? But then I also think, if I can convince like 10,000 people who are just like me every day to just think a little bit more about the world and about why things work the way they do, if I can convince 10,000 people every day, then maybe I'm doing something, right? Maybe I'm doing something that's like comparable to like the levels of like, you know, success that other people share, the levels of like, because I mean, at the end of the day, I do believe everybody should benefit to their community. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't just sit there and just fucking, you know, you shouldn't just sit there and do nothing. You should do something that benefits the people around you, right? You should do something. Because if you're not, you're just wasting oxygen. You're just wasting space. Somebody else could take up all the resources that you take up and actually give back, you know? Dude, what the fuck is this music? It sounds like funeral music. Dude, I'm giving this speech with this music playing. I probably sound like Hitler right now, dude. Dude. Oh my god. Dude, anyone who's tuning in right now is like, I'm literally witnessing like Hitler 2.0 right now. Dude, the manifesto music. Like, anyone tuning into the stream right now is like, this guy's gonna fucking blow up a school tomorrow. We better like do something about this, you know? People in chat are saying that I'm super black-pilled. I am black-pilled on some things, right? So for instance, one thing that I'm black-pilled by is the fucking internet. I know for a fact the internet is going to become a controlled nightmare in the next few years, to the point where I don't even know if a show like this can exist by the end of the decade. You know what my goal? People ask like, what is your goal for YouTube this year? You know what my goal for YouTube this year is? To not get banned, honestly. Because right now, I'm at a pretty comfy position. I'm making thousands of dollars a month. Dude, I'm making like fucking, I made like 7K last month, right? And I know people aren't supposed to talk about their finances. I'm just gonna be honest with what I made. I made 7K last month, right? I'm in a pretty good position, okay? And I just want to fucking maintain that, right? I'm never gonna be the biggest. I'm never gonna be the best. You guys see how my channel grows, right? Dude, other channel, like Turkey Tom's second channel is like blowing up right now, right? Other people's channels, like Poncho, for instance, he went from like a channel my size to like a 1 million sub YouTuber in like a year. These people exploded. I'm never going to explode. It's just never going to happen. I don't know why, but I've accepted that, right? But I am in a good position because a lot of these YouTubers, they will explode and then they'll, like the amount of money they make will severely cut down to the point where like they might be able to establish a stable career, but they're not making like the tens of thousands of dollars that they started the month making. Dude, Poncho posted how much he made 1 month. Poncho in his highest month last year, do you know how much he made? 50,000 fucking dollars. Do you think he's making that now? Probably not, but he's probably making a decent amount now. It's probably leveled out to something that's pretty respectable, but it's not where it was at its peak, right? My channel is pretty much like a steady flat line upwards, right? But it doesn't go down. It doesn't diminish. Like my growth never goes down. It just like goes up steady, you know? Or maybe it might plateau for a bit, then go up a little bit. That's honestly the best way to have it, right? I'm in a position where I'll probably be around as long as the internet lets me. I'll probably be around in 5 years. I'll be around as long as the internet will let me. And I'll probably have a pretty decent audience during the course of it, right? But I won't be able to maintain that if I get fucking banned. And in order to not get banned, one of two things has to happen. I have to hope that I just don't get fucking banned, or I have to cut back. I have to censor myself, right? And I don't really think I do anything ban-worthy nowadays, but like even just having this conversation right now, that could possibly put me in danger, right? I don't know where the parameter is going to be in a year from now, or let alone 5 years from now, right? And a lot of that probably has to do with the election, right? I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not endorsing Donald Trump, but if there is any way we're going to have an internet that's going to like survive, it's going to have to be if Trump gets elected, because Trump's the only guy that's going to run. I've got news for you guys, all right? I don't know if y'all realize this, but Trump is literally rerunning in 2024, right? We all know that he is. He's not making it like a secret. It is obvious that Trump is going to run in 2024. Who do you think is going to be the president if the internet gets fixed? Do you think it's going to be Biden or Kamala that are going to fix the internet? Or do you think it's going to be Trump? Now, I'm not saying that Trump would fix the internet, right? I'm not saying that. Because Trump could have fixed the internet when he was president in 2016. He could have fixed it then. The cracks were there. It was obvious what he needed to do. Trump let us down. If you fucking voted for Trump because you thought he was going to be based for the internet, Trump let you down. He didn't do anything. He got banned himself, right? So, I'm not saying that if Trump were to get reelected, that would fix the internet. But it would only happen under Trump. It wouldn't happen under Biden. It wouldn't happen under Kamala. It wouldn't happen under a Democrat. And it probably wouldn't happen under any other Republican president. So say what you will about Trump. I'm not endorsing Trump. I'm just being realistic. If you're a single issue voter, and the internet is your issue, you have to vote for Trump. That's your only hope. And he won't even necessarily help you. But if anyone's going to help you, it will be him. Unless somehow some other Republican candidate rises up and gets more popularity than Trump and owns Trump in the GOP race. Unless that happens. But let's be honest, that's never going to fucking happen. Even if a right-wing, like, Republican candidate rose up and they were better than Trump, people would still just vote for Trump. Because obviously Trump is, he's the most famous person in the world. That being said, don't take this as like an endorsement of Trump again, because Trump let us down. When I say us, I mean like internet people. Like if you exist on the internet, if you thrive on the internet, Trump fucked you. He literally just did jack shit about it. He could have. He would always talk the big talk. He'd always be like, we're monitoring the situation. We're monitoring tech censorship. What do you mean monitoring the situation? It is happening in front of your eyes. What do you have to monitor? What are you talking about? You're just saying that to shut up your voters like they're a bunch of like fucking whiny children. You're just like it's like throwing candy to a child to get them to stop crying. That's what Trump would do every time he would say, we're monitoring the situation and we're gonna do something about the big bad Twitter. What do you mean? Do it. Don't say you're gonna do something. Don't tip them off and let them know, oh, we're gonna get you. Because that's just baiting them to do more. That's just baiting them to kick it up more. If you're somebody that voted for Trump because he was gonna save the internet, he could have, but he didn't. But if he'll do it, it'll be in his second term, if he gets one, Vote Kanye. Trump didn't address one of the most important things, which is big tech. Kanye, I don't know, man. You're gonna have to really sell me. I feel like all the people that want Kanye as president are like Redditors. No offense, donator. But like, I don't know. People are like, oh my god, Kanye is so based. He should be president. Really? I mean, Kanye is based. I'm not gonna lie. He is. But based enough to handle the country? I don't know, man. I see where you're going with this, but you haven't sold me yet, Plus, he's also crazy. But to be fair, maybe we need a crazy president. For internet censorship, it's Trump or nothing. I mean, people aren't gonna like me saying this, right? They're not gonna like me saying this, but it's true. And I'm not saying anything controversial either. What do you mean? You think Biden or Kamala are gonna fucking fix They're gonna fix the internet? Of course not. They literally are against the free internet. It's never gonna happen under anyone else. And if Trump doesn't get reelected, I mean, I guess the next Republican maybe, but I don't know, dude. So anyway, this massive political tangent aside, what I was addressing was people saying that I'm doomer-pilled, okay? I am doomer-pilled about the internet, but I'm not doomer-pilled in general. Like, if I get kicked off the fucking internet, you know what? GG, okay? Whatever. At least it was fun while it lasted. Can't wait to see this in Tech's video. Dude, dude, if Tech wanted to character assassinate me, he's got like fucking... The videos... Now we know why the video is taking so long. It's because there's so much incriminating shit about me that it's actually taking him too long to gather it all. AugieRFC exposes a Trump supporter goes on unhinged rant against Biden and Harris. Yeah, dude. Bring back callers. See, I'd love to bring back callers because I'd love to talk about shit like this with you guys. But nobody is on my level. The only person that's on my level is Aiden and Connor. Because Connor's another guy. Obviously, me and Connor. You can just imagine the conversations me and Connor have. We're in the fourth dimension when we have conversations because Connor's like the only person that gets it, you know? But Aiden also gets it a little bit. Politics are retarded. That shit always ends up with people beefing over opinions. Yeah, but when people beef over opinions, it's funny. Usually it is. Sometimes it can be a bore. Augie's doing everything Hassan can to interact with chat and have intelligent conversations. Dude, I feel like this conversation is not intelligent. This conversation is... Anyone listening to this is probably like, this guy's the biggest fucking retard I've ever heard. But that's the thing, right? It's like, I enjoy actually like communicating with you guys, right? It is something I enjoy. Sometimes people in chat piss me off, but generally I enjoy actually talking to people. What I treat my streams as, it's like a giant public group chat, right? So when I go into group chats and have conversations with people, I love just fucking seeing what everyone has to say and then telling them why they're wrong or telling them why they're right or something, you know? So that's what I treat this stream as, except instead of me typing in the chat, I'm speaking to you guys. But that's basically what it is, right? Talk about this with Xavier. Dude, I'll never debate Xavier, dude. That guy is too fucking intense for me, man. Dude, Xavier would fucking kick my ass, dude. Dude, if Hassan had conversations like these, he would be banned. No, I'm just kidding. Hassan would not say anything that would be banned, would they? But this is so much more fun to me than streaming like, okay, guys, let's just watch anime for like 3 hours. Let's just sit down and watch 5 hours of Food Network. That sounds fucking boring. First of all, I don't want to watch Food Network, all right? But second of all, watching it on stream and just never interacting with my chat. What's the point of streaming? Other than just money at that point, right? It's so much more fun to just sit down and either show you guys crazy retarded drama or stream conversations or just talk one-on-one in the chat. It's so much more fun. It's not even just better because it's like better entertainment. It's just better to do. Food Network is what retarded 50-year-old moms watch. I mean, there are some decent shows on Food Network, but it's such a fucking boomer show to watch. Like, if I were to sit down and watch Food Network, I'd feel like I'm like a 40-year-old man. I'd feel like I'm Tommy C, dude. I'm just sitting on my couch, degenerating away, watching Food Network, you know? Like, Food Network is something you watch, like, your parents have it on. You visit their house, they have Food Network on. It's like, oh, I guess I'll watch this. That's the only time it's acceptable to watch it, you know what I mean? Or if you have like a fucking girlfriend or wife, because at least she's watching a cooking show, so obviously she's interested in cooking, so, you know, that's a good thing. But like, yeah. Here's a really red-pilled opinion on women. I don't understand how guys can date a woman that doesn't know how to cook and be like fine with that, or like accept that, or be like, whatever. Like, I guess if you really like a girl, you're willing to overlook like a lot of shit, right? But like, cooking is just something that I feel like is too big to overlook, you know? Like, when a guy is like, when you talk to a guy and you're like, so your woman can't cook? And the guy's like, yeah. You're almost in a situation where it's like, are you okay? Like, why would you accept that? Why would you accept a woman who can't cook? Why would you not just get another one? Can you cook, Augie? No. That's why I'm not a woman. Not sexist at all. Is that the honest conversation? Is that the woman that said Gabby Hanna wished she was raped for content? Wait a minute. Oh my god. It actually is. What the fuck are you doing here? Didn't you want to like debate me or something? Something stupid like that? You wanted to have an honest conversation with me. The only honest conversation is something you'll hear right here on RFC. That's the only place you'll get an honest conversation. To be fair though, my wife has a disability. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, Tipster. I like cooking, but so does my boyfriend. He does more cooking than me though, because he loves experimenting. Well, I mean, look, cooking at the end of the day will always be a man's like masterpiece, right? Like women are naturally made and good for cooking, right? But a man will always be the master of it. So it's fine if the guy cooks more, because I mean, men are just it's something that if you look at like who are like the top 10 chefs in the world, unironically, 9 out of 10 of them are men. Which is ironic, right? Because we think of cooking as like a woman thing. All the women cook and all the men don't cook or whatever. But like men dominate cooking. So it's like if a man cooks more than his woman, that's acceptable because it's a man's craft at the end of the day. But obviously the woman is usually the one who does all the cooking, right? Augie's coping now. Augie wants a trad wife. No, I don't want a trad wife. And I'm going to explain why, all right? Women who proclaim themselves to be trad wives are fucking insane. First of all, they're bland and boring, okay? But second of all, they're just probably insane, which is like the non-boring part of them. But they're not like insane in like a hot way. They're more just insane in like yeah, you just need help. Like, go away. Get away from me. That kind of insane, right? So I don't want a fucking trad wife. Anyone that says they want a trad wife is like gay or something, right? Like that's weird. If you're a man and you're like, I want a trad wife, it's like, the fuck are you talking about? Shut up. Women are like, I'm a trad wife. It's like, no, you're mentally ill and you need therapy. Is that what most right-leaning guys want though? Well, I don't know what the fuck a right-leaning guy wants. Honestly, I think a right-leaning guy just wants some pussy. Just like a left-wing guy, you know what I mean? I feel like at the end of the day, everybody wants the same thing. I don't really think there's like much of a difference. Spitting mad facts, also sick haircut. Thanks. Augie, will you ever take the hat off? Dude, the only reason why I don't have my the only reason why I have my hat on every time I stream is because my hair is long as fuck right now. And long hair is disgusting, but I just haven't felt like getting a haircut. Like I stream hatless when I have short hair. But when I have long hair, I don't usually do that. Long hair is sexy, Augie. Stop hating. Dude, every e-girl be like, oh my god, I only like long hair. It's like, why? Usually long hair on guys looks disgusting. Like, no offense. I probably just pissed off like half the chat. But like, I'm just being honest, right? If you're a guy with long hair, you usually look like a fucking caveman or something like. Very few guys can pull off long hair. Guys' hair should naturally be short. But for some reason, women, probably because they're like fucking ill or something, right? Women are always like, I like a guy with long hair. It's like, okay. Are you like gay? Are you like a lesbian? Do you see a guy with long hair and you think that it's like a chick or something? Like, why would you be attracted to that? Critical is coping right now. You think Critical is gross? I don't think Critical is gross, but I'm just saying, like, guys that have long hair usually look like cavemen. I mean, if you want to go for that look, then okay, I guess. Some people can pull it off, but like, usually it just doesn't work. Except for Jesus. Except for Jesus. Well, Jesus, it made sense why he had long hair. He wasn't going to like the hairstylist every day. He lived in the desert. Of course he had long hair. It made sense then. Opinion of beards on men. I feel like beards on men used to be like an alpha thing, but now it's become a beta thing because so many like cucks have beards now. So it's like ruined beards for men. But I mean, generally, like it is manly to have a beard, right? It's just a lot of, the problem with beards is that a lot of soy boys compensate by having beards because they think if they have a beard, it negates their soyness. It doesn't negate their soyness. So beta males will grow beards to compensate, which in turn has ruined beards. Now it actually is soy. Rip beards. Oh my god. Betas don't take care of their beards usually. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. Yeah, that's the problem, is that they have like these really disgusting looking beards. Although I will say, all right, if you're like Muslim or something, Mexicans can't really grow beards. But if you're like Muslim, if you have a beard, you're like a fucking Chad. Like Muslims rock beards the best, probably, right? Why is chat saying okay as if this is like the most controversial take this is like the most safe take I've given? What do you mean Mexicans can't grow beards? That's like everybody knows the stereotype. Asians can't really either, I'll be honest. It usually doesn't happen. Us Mexicans tend to go with the goatee rather than a full beard. Well, yeah, you have to go to one. For most Mexicans, it's not an option. You know? I mean, don't take it as an offense. There's nothing wrong with not being able to grow a beard. Again, I'm Asian. Asians can't really do it either. It's just reality, you know? There's no sense denying reality. Georgia Lynn, thank you for the tier 1. See, a woman just became a member, which means all the based red-pilled shit I've said about women is confirmed. Like, every woman agrees with it. So, get own, chat. Let's see how much of my audience is women. That'd be a good idea. Let's see if it's like gone up or down recently. All right, my female audience has gone up. 29% is the highest it's been in ages. So that means everything I say is like all women agree with it. It's too high. I would agree. I would prefer this be more of a men's club. The one good thing about having a large woman audience is that, again, it confirms every base thing I say about women. It means that they all agree, you know? If women watch this show and hear the things that I say and agree with it, then that says a lot, right? My female audience was 37% last time I checked. Well, yeah, but the difference, Tipster, is that you ask for a female audience, right? Like, if anything, I try to avoid it. And I try to avoid having a female audience by talking about what I think about women. But for some reason, they just enjoy it anyway. But the difference between me and you, Tipster, is that, Tipster, you ask for it. You want a female audience. You know? And we all know why. You don't have to lie about it to us. So it makes sense that you would have a higher one. But yeah, I think I just have a lot of crossover with Edwin. I see well, I mean, the real reason why you probably have more women is probably because you cover more women-friendly topics. Like, Tipster tends to go pretty hard on, like Tipster covered the Britney Spears situation a lot. You know, he covers a lot of the T-drama and stuff. And the thing is, when Tipster covers a topic, he doesn't just do one video about it. He covers the topic until it's done. You know what I mean? So, he's done like probably like a dozen videos recently on very woman-friendly topics. So that's probably why he has a higher audience. The topics I tend to talk about are more male-dominated, you know? Except for like the sexual assault stuff. Usually that's more women-dominated. Women love sexual assault. Well, they love following it, that's for sure. I don't think they like it happening to them. Wasn't Leafy's audience mostly chicks too? Well, Leafy appealed to a lot of like mentally ill women, right? Which is like a lot of women. So that's why he has like a massive like female audience. Be called out again. You're going mask off. Oh my god. Am I gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, why did I say all this? Oh my god. Oh my fucking god, dude. This is too funny to me. Am I gonna wake up tomorrow and just be like, holy shit, what did I say last night? You made text whole video. Dude, I made like fucking $600 this stream. Holy shit. I should talk about this shit more often. This is why Hassan formed. Because he just saw the money. He was like, holy shit, I should just do this again. And now he's like fucking greedy as shit. Augie should replace all of his online friends with women. Why would I do that? Nothing is more unappealing than being a man and seeking women instead of letting them like seek you. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is more... Why would you as a man want to be in the position of, you know, casting the fucking line, dude? Why? You're just setting yourself up for a lot of bullshit and a lot of disappointment, probably. The real Sigma mindset is to not give a fuck about women and just wait for one to come to you that you make the judgment of whether or not you're willing to like fucking share a future with that person, right? And if that never happens, then so be it. You weren't made to have a fucking woman. That wasn't your plan from God. If you go through all your life, you never find a woman, it just wasn't meant to happen. Don't take it personally. There's nothing wrong with that. Dude, this is what we need to be listening to right now. Dude, this should have been playing the whole conversation. So, Augie, when is the next After Hours? Oh my god, dude. Dude, the next After Hours is literally just gonna be this. Alright, I almost gotta get out of here because I'm supposed to meet the Nibbas in like 40 minutes and I still have to upload a video. Well, thanks a lot. Shout out to the boys, the squad. Keeping it real. Keeping it fucking real, man. That's what 2022 is gonna be all about. It's gonna be all about the real conversations, okay? I gotta get out of here. Real recognize real. That's so true. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's Saturday. It is the weekend, so I can probably take tomorrow off, but will I? I don't know. I kind of like streaming. I kind of like dedicating my entire life to this instead of just like a few hours. All right. I'll talk to you guys later, everyone. Please, please post the chatting segment to YouTube. I think I will, yeah. I think I probably will. So anyway, peace out, everyone. Talk to y'all later.